taking a while today. Okay, we are live. Anytime, Bill.
Good morning, Unity friends. It's so good to see you. I'm Janet Law, and I am your host this morning. As usual, we have some incredible music lined up for you today. To perform our musical treatment, it's our pleasure to introduce the always delightful Bill Sample and Darlene Cooper.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. You can join me if you want. All around the world, where I'm gonna let it shine all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine all around the world. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Man, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Spreading kindness all around, I'm gonna let it shine. Well, spreading kindness all around, I'm gonna let it shine. Spreading kindness all around, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Above my head, there's music in the air. Up above my head, there's music in the air. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Up in my room, there's music in the air. Up in my room, there's music in the air. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Everywhere I go, there's music in the air. Everywhere I go, there's music in the air. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. All over the world, there's music in the air. All over the world, there's music in the air. I really do believe there's heaven somewhere. I really do believe there's heaven somewhere. I really do
we thank you so much, Darlene, and thank you so much for your beautiful, beautiful music, William Sample. So glad that we can definitely feel it. And a good morning to you, Unity community. If you are here for the first time, welcome to Unity Center. We are a radically inclusive spiritual community, and we warmly welcome all people, all faiths, and all lifestyles. And today, kindness is mind power, isn't it, Mr. Bob Trask? Inclusive, inclusive. Just to get us started, I just wanted to give you a couple of wonderful quotes and a quick poem, just to make us feel even more inspired. The first one is from Helen Keller. The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart. And by Anne Frank, whoever is happy will make others happy too. And from the great Dr. Seuss, you have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. And lastly, the Dalai Lama, the purpose of our lives is to be happy. And now just a quick, beautiful poem by the Irish poet John O'Donoghue called For Equilibrium, a Blessing. Like the joy of the sea coming home to shore, may the laughter rinse through your soul. As the wind loves to call things to dance, may your gravity be lightened by grace. Like the dignity of moonlight restoring the earth, may your thoughts incline with reverence and respect. As water takes whatever shape it is in, so free may you be about who you become. As silence smiles on the other side of what's said, may your sense of irony bring perspective. As time remains free of all that it frames, may your mind stay clear of all its names. May your prayer of listening deepen enough to hear in the depths the laughter of God. And now we begin with our one power affirmation. And let's say that together now. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good, omnipotent. And now just a few quick reminders of some upcoming events. The first one, Becoming Supernatural. It marries some of the most profound scientific information and ancient wisdom to show how people like you and I can experience a healthier, more mystical life. This lively and exceptionally popular class meets this Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. and is definitely worth your time. And we are also very pleased to announce a very special feature with Dr. Wayne Fimster. Dr. Wayne is a family physician, a UBC assistant professor, and an author, and he will be explaining a transformational new technique to optimize neuroplasticity and to heal pain. Dr. Wayne is an outstanding healer, so please invite everyone you know that might be helped. And join us on Wednesday, May the 12th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And of course, our Course in Miracles study groups led by retired psychologist Margaret MacLeod continues to draw devoted followers. The Course explains and examines this enduring metaphysical text in an open, fun, and interactive examination. The study group meets online on Tuesdays afternoons from 1 till 3 p.m. and Thursday evenings from 7 to 9 p.m. And new members are always welcomed. And Yesterday, we finished our first wisdom circle, and it started with our cycle of 4 sessions. And we would like to invite anyone to also come on May the 15th, if you didn't get in yesterday, and join us for some good conversation. And it's a great way to connect even more deeply with your community, make new friends, and advance your spiritual practice. So mark your calendars for Saturday, May the 15th from 9 to 10 p.m. and your weekend will be set off with deep reflection and community connection. So now let us take a deep breath. Center ourselves in this moment as we sing the new translation of the Aramaic version of the Lord's Prayer.
Holy Spirit, creator and life of all, create a space inside us and fill it with your presence. Let oneness now prevail. Your one desire flows through ours as energy fills all forms. Give us this day our physical and spiritual nourishment. Untangle the knots of error that bind us as we also release others. Don't let appearances make us forgetful of the source, but free us to act from our highest nature. From your presence comes the glorious harmony of life. May these words be fertile ground from which our future grows.
And now, to lead us in meditation, Reverend Bob Trask.
Good morning, my dear family. Good morning. If you'll find a comfortable place for your feet and your hands and the lower part of your back up against the back of your chair, and just begin breathing slowly in through your nose, out through your mouth. And when you breathe in through your nose, just hold that breath for 3 or 4 seconds. And then just let your body relax and let the breath flow out. Don't push it out. And then just find yourself going deeper and deeper into peace. So we're going to take a few minutes and just do that. And while you're doing that, I want you to know that today we're going to do a little bit of a different kind of meditation. This is a meditation called the loving kindness meditation. It's a bit of a guided meditation, but it sets us up for our message today. So I'll be quiet for a minute and just let you get into that deep and beautiful place within you. In this loving kindness meditation, I'm going to say some phrases, and I'd like for you to hear them and repeat them in your own mind. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. Bring to mind, if you will, the closest person to you in this life, and say to them, may you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. Another person in your life who is very close, again, to them. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. And may you be loved. To the caregivers who risk their lives to save ours during this pandemic, we'll do this 3 times for them. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. May you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. And my dear friend, as you go through your day and through your week, may you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. And may you be loved. I'm going to be quiet now and allow you to send this beautiful blessing out to whoever you want. And in about 60 seconds, Bill and Darlene will bring us back with beautiful music. Bless you.
When all the world is a hopeless jumble and the raindrops tumble all around, heaven opens a magic lane. When all the clouds darken up the skyway, there's a rainbow highway to be found, leading from your window pane to a place behind the sun, just a step beyond the rain. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't I? Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh, why can't? Why then, oh, why can't? Why then, oh, why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I?
Please note that there will be a Q&A following the talk, and we ask that you pop any questions that occur during Bob's talk into the chat window, and Reverend Bob will be happy to expand on them. And now, Reverend Bob Trask.
Howdy, 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 howdy. Gosh, Darlene and Bill, that was such a beautiful, beautiful rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Just touched my heart. And it's perfect for what we're doing today, because we're talking about kindness as mind power. And the truth of it is that kindness is love, but it's the expression of love, isn't it? And when we're kind to others or to ourselves, we're actually giving an energy. We're actually delivering an energy. We're actually bringing a power forth into the world that doesn't exist unless we bring it forth. You know, and I know that God is love. Called that great presence God, Holy Spirit, Great Spirit, doesn't make any difference. I'm quite sure it doesn't make any difference to God what name you give it. But it's the great presence, it's the great consciousness, the great mind, the great heart, the great love that creates the universe. And it creates you and me, and it flows through you and me and empowers every cell of our body and of our being. And that power, that incredible grace that is the presence of God flowing through you, flowing through me, must not only flow in, but it must flow out in order for it to be real. We're like a garden hose. If you turn the nozzle off at the end and the water is clogged up in the hose, that's just stagnant water. If you want it to be really a flow, you have to open the nozzle and let it flow through. You and I are the same way with the power of love and the power of kindness. It has to flow through us, doesn't it? In order for it to invigorate us, in order for it to heal us, in order for it to make us whole, it has to flow through us. And the topic of today is that kindness is mind power. Our mind power is the power of love. And that's not thinking power, that's intellectual power. Intellectual power. How many names can you memorize, and how many algebra or trigonometry problems can you solve? That's intellectual power. Mind power is the great mind of the universe as you, in you. And when that flows, that's something really incredible. The warm feeling of well-being when we've done something kind isn't just in our mind. It's also boosting natural levels of morphine and heroin. Not morphine and heroin, but the natural levels of those, which are oxytocin, serotonin, and dopamine. These are neurotransmitters that give us a feeling of satisfaction and of well-being. Oxytocin causes the pleasure centers of our brains to light up. So how does that work? I mean, our bodies are physical beings, but they're 99.999999999% space. And that space is made up of the mind of God, which is you, that is made up by your presence. And so the way that happens in the body is that translates into oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, neurotransmitters that wake us up and give us a power of joy and wisdom in our lives. Kindness also increases the P endorphin, which is situated in the spinal cord and the brain, that relieves pain. And your kindness also decreases the stress hormone cortisol, which creates anxiety. And acts of kindness, get this beautiful thing. The acts of kindness actually lower your blood pressure. So being kind to others is actually being kind to ourselves, isn't it? And it's being kind to ourselves because the acts of kindness heal depression and anxiety and all kinds of other mental illnesses in us. But the effect isn't lasting. You can't just be kind to somebody this morning and think that those great feelings are going to last all day. It's got to be a constant flowing, doesn't it? It's got to be a way of thinking. It's got to be a way of life, a way of living. And if we're doing that, then we're living as well as we think saints lived, like Mother Teresa. We're living as Jesus lived, as Buddha lived. We're living in a flow of that God energy, the Christness that flows through us as us into others, and makes them know that we care, that somebody on this planet Earth sees them and thinks of them and cares enough about them to reach out and lift them up. That's why we must make kindness a lifestyle. We just get in the habit of showing up for others. We can do volunteer work. We can say hello to somebody on the street. We can drop a couple of bucks in a homeless person's hat. We can drop coins into expired parking meters. make meals for other people, or even hold open an elevator door for someone. Did you know that kind people have 23% less cortisol? That's the stress hormone that makes us age faster and that keeps us anxious. 23% less cortisol for people who show kindness. And those people also obviously age slower than the average population. Kind people live longer. The University of British Columbia proved in a study that showed kindness, it delayed mortality, reduced depression, all the while inducing feelings of well-being and good fortune. So, you know, when we talk about kindness and kindness increasing our brain power or our mind power, my gosh, what we're doing is inviting Holy Spirit to come and dwell within us. We're inviting God to be in us as us. We're taking all of that stuff that we normally worry about, the junk, you know, the junk. We're taking all of that stuff and setting it aside and saying, I have time for that later. Right now, I have to uplift somebody. I have to enrich someone's life. I have to touch someone's heart. There's someone in the hospital who's alone. There's someone in an old age home who's alone. There's someone in a nursing home that's alone. There's someone who has COVID that's isolated and nobody can get to them and they're alone. There's a caregiver who's stressed out. She's a nurse and she's been watching people die and she's been doing her very, very best. And nobody, not anyone, can understand what she's feeling inside of her heart. But we can reach out and touch her. If not in person, then by prayer. We can find out who those people are and even send them a card in the mail. Send them a card in the mail, even to the hospital. And to just say, I care about you. I see you. I know who you are. You're a saint in my life. I care about you. Every day we walk through either on the phone or on Zoom or in the shopping centers or on the street or on the trails. We walk by so many people. So many people. And if you look at them, you'll see that most of them are encapsulated in the cocoon of their own mind, of their own egos. They don't mean to be there. It's just that they already know that nobody outside of them cares to reach in. If you care to reach in, watch what happens. When you're going through the checkout in a grocery store, that person behind the counter got that shield up in front of them. They're checking people out and they're moving groceries along and they're glancing up and looking at you. And then they're saying, you can put your card in right here. No, they're just walking through their day. And the people that go by there are just people going by and paying money and getting groceries. Nobody is saying, stop a minute. Just stop. I love you right now. I love you. I am loving you. Stop. Stop. Stop your mind. Stop the world. And know that I am here for you. How do you do that? I just wanted to ask you, is that a new dress? I just love that color. Boy, I sure hope you're having a good day. I think about you sometimes here behind the counter, working all day with people going through and COVID and all the rest of those things and whatever burdens you have in your own life. And I just want you to know that I really care about you. Is it that hard to say? Can we reach through the shell of our own protectiveness and say that? Can we? Because kindness is good for them. You're healing them, you're lifting them up, and we're lifting ourselves up. And kindness is kind to the heart too. Oxytocin is a cardioprotective hormone because it releases nitric oxide, which dilates the blood vessels and lowers blood pressure, reduces free radicals and inflammation of the cardiovascular system, and thereby slows down the aging at its source. That's why kindness is good for the heart. The 2010 2010 Harvard Business School survey of happiness in 136 countries found that people who are altruistic, people who are financially generous and give to charitable organizations and tithe, are the happiest people overall on the planet. Why? Why? Because they trust. They don't hold themselves back and say, I only have so much to give. I'm going to be careful where I give it. I only have so much love to give. Let me be careful where I give it. I only have so much kindness to give. I only have so much money to give to my church or to a nonprofit organization. I only have so much time in my life to donate and to volunteer for other people. I only have so much health. You only have so much. If you only have so much, it's because it's not flowing from you. Trust means I know that I am in the heart of Great Spirit as Great Spirit. And that Holy Spirit, Great Spirit, God, the great presence, the great mind, love with all capital letters is flowing into me. And if I open the portal and let it flow out into every person that I can bless and watch them come alive, then I will expand in love. I will expand, and I will expand in everything I give. That's why we learn from the Old Testament that tithing works. When you give, it comes back to you tenfold. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about everything that we can give. And today we're talking about kindness. When I'm wrapped up in my own feelings, I pull up a stop sign. I look over at the driver of another car. Just pay attention for a minute and look at them until they catch your attention and look over them and say, you're great. They won't forget that today. Something changed inside of them today because you said that. When you see somebody on the street and you just say something beautiful to them, hi, I sure hope you're having a great day. Something happens inside of them. I have a habit that I love to do. I take my phone and I take my phone out and I dial a number. I get an area code and I dial a number. I usually know a prefix in that area code, and then I just dial a number and somebody answers. And I say, hi, you don't know me, and this is not a robocall, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm another member of your family in the human race. And I dialed your number just by pulling it out of the air. I want you to know I love you and I cherish you. And I'm holding you in my heart today. Thank you. And then I hang up. Now they could call me back because they got my number. Nobody ever calls me back, but I hear the most incredible things on the other end of the phone. I hear people say, "Whoa, I love you too." I've never heard anybody say, "Don't call." You know, people are touched. You reach through their shell. And one time I did that in a class, and I said, "Somebody give me a phone number. Just any long distance phone number somewhere in the world. I don't care what it is. Just give me a phone number." Somebody gave me a phone number and I dialed it. The man answered. And I said what I had just said to you. I told him that. You don't know me. I'm just another member of the human race. I'm your brother out here. You'll never meet me. You'll never know who I am, but I love you. You are worthy of being loved. You're a good person and you're a credit to our universe. And I'm glad you're here. And just know that someone out here is loving you today. Thank you. Goodbye. And I hung up. A week or two later, that same person who had said that in class, I didn't know that, but they had given me the telephone number of their stepfather from whom they had been estranged. And there was a real darkness in this man. He had been really isolated and dark. He called this student and said, "I just wanted to call and tell you I love you." And which blew the student away, said, "You know, I got the strangest call from somebody. Somebody called me and told me what a good guy I was and that they loved me. And I just couldn't get over that." So that's the only one that I'd actually heard about, but it changed somebody's day, maybe changed somebody's life. How much did that cost me? What if I'd called and somebody'd say, "To hell with you, hang up, boom." What would that have cost me? Nothing. Kindness is free. Kindness is free. Another study found that people who volunteer experience fewer aches and fewer pains. Acts of kindness protects our overall health twice as much as aspirin protects against heart disease. People 55 or older who volunteer to organizations have a 44% lower likelihood of dying early, regardless of physical conditions like smoking, lack of exercise, gender, marital status. This is a stronger effect than exercising 4 times a week or going to church. The Mayo Clinic says you've heard the uplifting stories, passerbys dropping off scads of cash in charity collection baskets, or anonymous donors paying off hospital bills for strangers, and people helping victims during storms and natural disasters. These acts of kindness make everybody feel good. Just think of this gift of life that you can be giving others. And it doesn't cost you anything. We become a beautiful and healthful part of their lives. When they think of us, their heart smiles, like they're hearing sweet music. How hard is that? Just to be in the habit of being a light in the lives of someone else, being a light in the lives of others. How hard is that?
When I need someone to tell my trouble to, you're the first one who comes to my mind. When there's nowhere to run, you're the one I turn to. Lord knows a friend like you is hard to find. A friend like you, everyone should have. A friend like you, we all need. All I want to do is be a friend to you, the way you are, a friend to me. When I'm lost out in the dark, you're the bright light shining through. You're my anchor, my hope, my new day. Through the stormy nights ahead, I'll be counting on you to keep me strong. Come what may, a friend like you, everyone should have. A friend like you, we all need. All I want to do is to be a friend to you, the way you are, a friend to me. Joyful is my soul every time I think of you. Sweet music is the gift you bring. So I thank you for the songs soaring in my heart. Your love makes me sing. You, everyone should have a friend like you, we all need.
want you to know that you are that friend to me. And every time I think of you, sweet music is the gift you bring to me. I thank you for the songs soaring in my heart. Your love makes me sing. And we started off today with what I called a loving kindness meditation. You can do that on your own. And just by going into that quiet place and sending that powerful love to others. Just sending that out. May you be well. May you be abundant in all things. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. And you know something? People who are doing a loving kindness meditations like that, they have reduced pain and tension, reduced depression, and it does slow down the aging process. Studies have found that people who practice loving kindness meditation have longer telomeres. Now, those are those caps on the end of your DNA that determine how long or how short your life will be. Those telomeres are longer on people who practice loving kindness meditation. I think that we have an opportunity in this lifetime to make a difference. What it would be like to be in your last hour of life, filled with peace, joy, knowing that you're not dying, but that you're moving to another dimension, greater dimension, and that in this lifetime on this planet, you planted seeds of joy in so many hearts. It didn't cost you anything except to get out of your own way. It's a beautiful thing. A person in Winnipeg, Manitoba, picked up the tab for the car that was next in line at a coffee and sandwich drive-through. And it so inspired the next person that they did the same thing. You know what? The chain continued for an astounding 226 customers. 226 customers each paid for the person behind them. That's kindness. It's contagious. It's just contagious. There was a couple that were down on their luck and they couldn't pay their electric bill, and it was winter and they were getting cold, and they were told that within 10 days their electricity is going to be shut off. And they went into the office and they pleaded with this woman, "Isn't there anything that you can do?" And she said, "I can't. My hands are tied." They went very sadly back out to their car, started to drive away, and the woman ran out and said, "Stop, stop, stop. Your electrical bill's been paid. Someone heard what you were having problems and they paid your bill. And all they ask is that you pay it forward." High school friends Rob Westerman and Mike Lewis went into a Kroger store with $400 in their pockets. They didn't buy food, they didn't buy anything. Instead, they used it to surprise 15 shoppers by buying their groceries for them. They left the store with people crying. Would you think either one of those young men will ever in their lives forget that? Haven't their own lives been changed? And haven't the lives of others been changed? Have you ever gone into a restaurant and looked around and saw that a waiter or waitress looked like they were a little struck and left $100 tip? I mean, it costs $100, but for the rest of your life, you remember that. There was a guy that saw a homeless man, and the guy who saw the homeless man had bought a lottery ticket, and he knew it was a failure. So he went into the store and he said to this person, "I'm going to give you this lottery. I'm going to have a guy come in here with this lottery ticket, and you're going to look at it and say you're a winner, and you're going to peel out $1,000 and give it to him. And here's the $1,000." And he gave the guy $1,000. Then he went back out on the street and he went to this homeless guy and he said, "I think I have a winning lottery ticket. I'm going to give it to you." The guy said, "You don't have to." "Yeah, I'm going to give it to you. Let's go over here and see if I think it's a winner. Let's go over here." And so he took him in, and the guy pushed past the lottery ticket in, and the clerk said, "My God, you're a winner," and gave the guy $1,000. Tried to give some of that to the guy who had given him the ticket. He wouldn't take it. He said, "I've never had anybody do what you just did for me, ever." You know what the Dalai Lama says? The Dalai Lama says, be kind whenever possible. And it's always possible. Be kind whenever possible. It's always possible.
Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Well, another day goes by, still the children cry, put a little love in your heart. If you want the world to know we won't let hatred grow, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see, wait and see. Oh, take a good look around, and if you're looking down, put a little love in your heart. Well, I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Put a little love in your heart. 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 Oh yeah, come on now. Put a little love in your heart. Spread around that kindness. Put a little love in your heart. Put a little love. Put a little love in your heart. Yeah. Put a little love in your heart.
Oh, Bill and Darlene, you just put a little love in my heart. You just put a lot of love in my heart. You guys are so incredible, and I love you, love you, love you. Thank you. My dear friends, to dig into our pockets and support this ministry. We're reaching out in this ministry to touch lives around the world. We're looking forward to building an international center here for peace and love and kindness, not religion, but spirituality, the kind that you experienced with us today. And we could use a little help. If you don't mind to dig in a little bit and send a few dollars our way, it will be blessed and it'll come back to you tenfold for sure. But it's kindness. This is a time to be kind, and let's all join together and make this work. Incidentally, my donation is in. So let's get together on this, and let's repeat this affirmation together. Divine love flowing through me multiplies and blesses all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I know that to be true. I know that to be true. And here's how it can happen for you.
To make your donations now, you will find links in your chat window, or simply go to unityofvancouver.org. Your Q&A with Reverend Bob is coming up right in a few moments. But in the meantime, just a few quick reminders. We have 3 highly trained prayer chaplains available to pray and hold space for you in a private room today. They are Jeannie Bell Irving, Margaret Sarkissian, and Shirley Thompson. If you would like to pray, instructions will be given at the end of the service. And just a reminder that our upcoming talk next week is the healer and, which you just saw, there we go, a healer and a comforter, that is you. And we also want to remind you that on the 15th of May, Saturday mornings from 9 till 10, our spiritual wisdom circles are there for you to join. And we just started our first cycle, as I said earlier, yesterday, but join us if you weren't able to make it, and we would love to see you. And we now have our Q&A, which is starting now. So we have actually a few questions today, Bob. And the first one actually comes from Brian Kane. Do we block kindness because we are absorbed in our own suffering?
Wow, what a great question. What a great question. I think that's exactly right. I think we're not only suffering physically, we're suffering mentally and emotionally. You know the old story of if you put a frog in cold water and heat it up gradually, you can boil the frog and you'll never know he was in hot water because it comes on so slowly. The tension and the stress in our lives comes on so slowly and gradually that most of us are going around with some unrecognized guilt, some unrecognized shame, some unrecognized feelings of failure, of feeling like we're not quite enough, feelings of being abandoned or isolated or alone in our thinking. And we got used to that and we sort of built a shell around that. But there's no kindness that can come out of us when we're going through that. But if we're able to make, just even for a few minutes, someone else more important than we are, just for a few minutes, make someone else more important than myself, then what happens is that shell breaks, and what's given birth is a new feeling of peace and joy, and a feeling of security, a feeling of security, of knowing that I'm okay, that the world's okay, and that everything's going to be fine. So that's the good news that comes from us. But Brian, but you're absolutely right. We are so focused on ourselves that we don't have time for someone else. Thank you.
The next part of that question actually came from Brian Andy, and the second part is, what practice do we use to go beyond it?
The practice we use to go beyond it, number one, is the kindness meditation, the loving kindness meditation. Whereas we go in to a quiet place and we envision each person in our lives. Forget about us. Envision each person in our lives and say to them in our hearts and in our minds, may you be well. May you be abundant in all ways. May you be peaceful. May you be loved. And then finally to say that to ourselves. May I be well. May I be abundant in all ways. May I be peaceful. May I be loved. And then may I be love, because when we know ourselves as love, when that's my identity, not Bob, not a minister, not a sea captain, my identity is love, that's who I am, then there are no barriers, then I'm available, always available. And it doesn't cost me anything because the love isn't my love, it's God's love. I'm just a channel of it. It isn't costing me anything. Good questions, Brian. Thank you.
We have one here from Sean. How do you deal with choosing to give time, money, energy to someone and it gets rejected or criticized upon the giving of that.
Yeah, and that certainly can happen. That certainly can happen. There are people, and a lot of us listening here today may be among those. There are people who can't receive. There are people who can't receive. I'll do it myself. I can't ask for help. You know, I don't want to get in anybody's way. I don't want to burden anybody. Or I'm just not worthy of having this goodness flow into me. Or I don't want to be obligated to you. So don't help me because I don't want to have that obligation on me. There's all that stuff going on. All that stuff. You know what the largest plant in the world is? The largest plant in the world. And I ask that question and I get a lot of answers. The largest plant in the world is an aspen tree. An aspen tree, yes, because it's a forest. It's not just one tree because the roots that are all together, they all have one root. And so do we have one root. We are all the same root. We are all God. We are all Holy Spirit. We are all the creative presence. We are all the universe. We have one root. But we come up and then we wave around in the light. We say, oh no, I'm different. I'm separate. No, we're not. And if I give to you, then more flows through me as I give to you. So I get by giving. So there are people though who won't allow me to give to them, who won't, who can't. Then I have to find another way, some other method of letting them know that they're cared for. Something. If everything fails, a card. I don't get a chance to talk to you very often and tell you how very, very much you mean to me and to the world. Thank you for being here. Some way to just reach out to them and begin to chisel away at that Berlin Wall that stands between them and love. Thank you, Sean.
And this comes from Angelique Amris. This is a very personal question to you, Bob. Do you think our time of death is preset, and no matter when our time comes, we cannot avoid it?
Boy, what a beautiful question that is. And it's got two answers. They're contradictory answers. Yes, our time of death is set. No, our time of death isn't set because time doesn't exist. Time and space are concepts. The only time is now. We are forever, ever, ever, ever in this moment of now. We're not before, we're not after. The space is all here, right now. Someone asked me once, somebody who had a religious organization where they do out-of-body experiences, and they asked me if I would take a leadership role in their organization. And I said, in these out-of-body experiences, do you time travel? Oh yeah. Do you travel in space? Can you go to? Yes, I said. And I was in Oregon at the time, and I said, so how long would it take for you to get to New York from here? And they thought for a minute. They said probably about 2 or 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. And I said, okay, thank you very much. And I didn't join because, in fact, it doesn't take time to be in New York because you're already in New York. All places are here. All time is now. So yes, the time of your death is set. It's right now. The time of your life is set. It's right now. And can you avoid death? Can you avoid it when that time comes? I'm going to tell you from being an older man. When I was young, I was terrified of dying. And terrified is a small word for what I felt. I had panic that was day and night. Terrible, terrible panic about dying. And as you grow older, and as I've seen many, many, many people make their transitions and held many people as they went, I can tell you that, and also having had a near-death experience, that the fear is for nothing. The fear is for nothing. The worst part of death is fear of death. Fear of death is the only bad part. The death itself is easy, and it's not a stopping. It's not an ending. It's just a changing and moving on. You can't die. You can't die. You were never born. You will never die. You can't. You're an eternal spiritual being. an eternal spiritual being in God, of God. And you say, well, yeah, but if I go back into God, then I disappear and I'm just all of that great spirit. Yes, that's true. You disappear and you're just all of that great spirit. Listen to me. You're all of that great spirit. The smallest part of the whole in a holographic sense contains the whole. You will be all of God. And so will I. That's a little mysterious. You don't need to understand it. Just know it. Thank you.
Well, you know, Bob, you said that you were an older guy. I actually think you're a younger guy because last Sunday you did a marvelous talk on how not to age, how to stay youthful. So anyone who wasn't here last Sunday, make sure you go on to our YouTube site and hear that talk. Here's a question from Randy. What do you do when you see someone you don't know being unkind?
Being unkind? Oh boy, that's the person you're looking for. That's the person that'll make your day right there. That's the one you need. That person has shut their doors. When you find someone who's being unkind, this is the challenge. This is this Christness in you, to reach above your own fears and trepidations, and to be kind to that person. To find a way to be kind to that person. And if you can catch that person's attention, hey, excuse me, can I ask you where you get your hair cut? Because God, I really love the way your hair looks. Or oh, excuse me, you just look like wonderful things are happening inside of you today. You look, God, you're just glowing with a beautiful light. Or is that a new shirt? God, I love that shirt. Can you tell me? So something, or just a smile. Hi, how are you doing today? So glad to be in this world with you. To do something to crack the shell of that unkind person, because that person is not naturally unkind. That person, like you, is an incarnation of God, of Holy Spirit, is pure love. And the unkindness that's coming out of them is a dis-ease that we can heal by being kind to them. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you. So Bob, right now we're all being affected very, very much by the global health crisis, some of us very, very deeply. And the question is, we are all being asked to wear masks, to physical distance, to help each other, that we're in this together. How do you be kind when not everybody wants to adhere to those recommendations? What would you do? What would you say? How would you respond?
I run into that every day. And there's a part of me that jumps up inside that says, what a stupid person. Look at this stupid person walking around where other people are not wearing a mask. And then I say to myself, I don't know who that person is. I don't know that person's business or their burdens. Not everyone on planet Earth is going to do the right thing. We know that. But they're still our family. They're still our brothers and still our sisters. One of the things, I used to be quite a scrapper. I was in more fist fights than I want to talk about. And I had a short fuse, and if somebody got after me, pretty soon we were going at it. Something happened. I don't think anyone taught me this, but I just suddenly realized it. My brother, I've got a younger brother who's quite a scrapper. I would never fight my brother. I could not hit my brother. I couldn't. So when I realized that, I thought, well, what if this guy that's messing with me is my little brother? Will I hit him? Will I smack this fist into his face? No. So I stopped fighting, because all those people out there are my family. Those people out there who aren't wearing masks, they're my brothers and sisters. I don't understand where their thinking is. I don't understand their thinking. But I'm not them. I'm not living in their bodies. But we can heal this pandemic without them wearing masks. We can do that. They're unfortunately not on the team, but it doesn't matter. We can do it anyway, and we will do it anyway. And each time I see them now, I just say, bless you, I forgive you. Bless you, I forgive you. And the universe forgives you. Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you. And we're going to end with this one because I think it's appropriate. What if we all put a lot of love in our hearts?
Thank you, Darlene. If you could imagine, if you could just imagine that the belief in war and the belief in enmity and the belief in competition, viral, fierce, ugly competition went away, what this world would be. But there's a belief system because we came gradually in evolution up through the ages. We came up fighting each other for sex or for food or whatever. And we're still fighting each other. But eventually we come to the place that we say, we're not at war here. This is not a war. We have an opportunity to be warriors of the light, guerreros de la luz. We have an opportunity to be love and to spread love. And if everybody got that, if we started a pandemic of love and it went around the world and everybody got that, or even if 60% got that, the others would fall in because peer pressure, the others would fall in. Then what would happen is that we would have a world where it wouldn't be we would all be sitting around with big dopey smiles on our faces, drinking malted milkshakes. We would be inventing, creating, making better medicines, figuring out ways to inhabit space, to grow better foods, to eat better, to live longer, to live more joyous lives, to put more money into art and more money into music and to bring more of that wealth of the abstract world into our lives, to learn to meditate better, to stop thinking of God as this man, this big bad guy in the sky that's going to sentence you to a terrible end of life torture, and to just know that God is love, that there is no sin that you can commit that isn't instantly forgiven. There is no sin you can commit that isn't instantly forgiven, because God is love and love is forgiveness. And if we could all just get there. But my job, me, Bob Trask, my job is to help us get there. And my question is, will that be your job too? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. We so love and appreciate you, and we thank you for all that you be and do here at the Unity Center. And thank you to our musicians and to the wonderful team that gets our Sunday morning time together, all being beautifully orchestrated. So now let us all together recite our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Now, let us all join together in singing the peace song.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family the we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you all for being here today. Next up are our breakout room discussions and prayer chaplain private prayer sessions. If you are not going to participate, please click the red Leave Meeting button to help our meetings flow more smoothly. If you have been watching on YouTube, you can join this next segment by clicking the Zoom links in your YouTube chat window. Either way, we're glad you were able to attend and look forward to seeing you next week. If you would like to pray with the chaplain, we will be using a new method this week. In just a few seconds, we will open the breakout rooms. But if you would like a private prayer, please ignore the breakout invitation. So in order to pray, do not accept the breakout invitation. Once everyone's been moved into the breakout rooms, we will assign you to a proper chaplain right from here. When your prayer is finished, you can return here and we can put you in a breakout room if you like. And for the breakout participants, the question today is, who do you know who is constantly rewarded by their kindness? Who do you know who is constantly rewarded by their kindness? And now, Sean, if you would please open the breakout rooms for our scheduled 30-minute session.
Yeah, stand by. I'll be right there. And away we go. One of them has 6 people in it, but
Please check your breakout room icon at the bottom in your menu to accept your invitation.
hi Noah.
Hi.
Did you want to go to a prayer chaplain?
Yes,
Let me
please.
see if I can do it.
Okay, stand by. I'll put you with one.
Yeah, you should be able to do it from within Zoom.
There you go, Noah. Kayla, did you want a prayer chaplain?
No, I could go to a brook, but I didn't have anything to click.
Okay, I'll just take a look here and see if I can put you here. You're unassigned. I am signing you right now. Here you go.
Thanks.
And Margaret?
I'm waiting for a prayer, Sean.
Stand by. I will do that right now. Okay, Margaret, you should have that invite.
Did I go with that now?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
And we have Maro's iPad. Were you looking for a prayer chaplain?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to put you in the waiting room because they're full at the moment, and we'll be right there. We'll move you as soon as there's a room.
Sean, it didn't give me permission to go into a breakout room. Did you keep me here?
I kept you here, and I'm going to put you in right now.
No problem. Thanks so much.
Here you go.
Thank you.
I think because you were still talking. No, we haven't.